Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extirpation, undesirable beings, odors from another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past might repeat itself? Watch them and pray.
Goo readings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, those of you who did not survive the beer bong challenge, and anyone who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have Nick.
Here I am.
Yeah,
Here I am.
We're actually recording in person today, and this is going to be a little bit of a shorter, not quite a kickback episode, not quite a full episode. We'll just call it like a hangover episode because this is one day after New Year's.
Yeah, man. And let me tell you, Tasker and I got so fucking drunk on New Year's Eve that I don't black out, right, when I drink alcohol. I've been in certain situations where anybody else would have blacked out, and I don't.
Right.
But I was very, very close on New Year's Eve because I can still remember everything, but hardly.
That's impressive because in my entire, and I've seen you drink like we mentioned before, the beer bong challenge, which I don't think we've ever done a beer bong actually, right?
No, man. No, we haven't.
That's interesting. Maybe might be too old to try it, but
I was going to say the reason I think that happened is because, we did drink a lot.
Yeah.
Right. As much as we would have back in the day. But I'm just getting older, man.
It changes things. We can't handle it as good as we used to. And I also feel like, too, there's a little bit of a stigma against major chugging challenges because remember when that lady died with what was it? They had to like chug water for the Wii. And to get a free system and it drowned.
Serves you right, though. Was it worth it, you think? The Wii was like, come on. You played the Wii more than anybody here. What do you think of it?
The real question is, my real question is, did she still win it, though?
Yeah, probably. You just send it to her estate, yes.
Or fucking, like, widower or whatever.
Her probate lawyer got it.
The poor kids who just like, oh, I hope you're fucking happy. You got your Wii console.
And they're like, this is shit.
Yeah, they don't have any games for it. I will say, though, to answer your question, the Wii is a fantastic console. And I feel like it was a worthy successor to the GameCube. I do feel the GameCube had some of the best games Nintendo has ever put out. But the Wii, it lived the fuck up. It was a solid system that I have no reservations about. The Wii U, however, was a complete shit show disaster. And Nintendo deserved the major, because they reported, major losses from the Wii U.
And you know what's sad, too, is I don't know anything about this shit. I never really was a big Nintendo guy. I had a Game Boy when I was a kid, right? The Game Boy Color.
Right.
Because when I turned 3, no, it was I was like 3 or 4. It had just come out.
Right.
And I was still kind of too young to understand that what I was playing was bullshit. Okay. Nowadays, I try to stick to things that aren't made by Nintendo. Right. Because I'm not a big Mario guy. I get it. It's kind of racist. It's kind of funny, right? I get the appeal.
Right.
I like the only thing I like from Nintendo, and you know what it is?
Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. But I will never forget the time, and I think there's a picture of it that I saw where you went to Best Buy and waited outside for the midnight release of the Wii U, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And I did little status updates. And made I had some fun with it. I was like, oh yeah, we've been in line for 3 days now. And we just had to eat the guy behind his leg because he was weak and keeled over. And it was I got a lot of likes on that, actually.
Good. I'm glad you got clout because you didn't get shit from actually buying that.
The actual system ended up being the best part was waiting for it. What was that one from Fairly Odd Parents? The when do we get to the ride? This is the ride,
man.
Fucking escalator land. Basically, yeah, that was more fun than any fucking game I had on it. And a big problem too was the and now, so Nick being in person, he was able to finally try the PS5, the much sought after PS5 that I've talked about. And obviously you were able to hold in how ergonomic and perfect the controller is on your hands, right?
Yeah.
But now the Wii U was a giant rectangle, and that was completely static, by the way. So the thing didn't bend; it was solid plastic. Now, when you're playing like this, with your two hands out, it was just basically carpal tunnel simulator, and except it's not a simulator, it just gives you carpal tunnel.
Yeah,
it was the worst. I even tried playing Pikmin 3, which is a major IP in Nintendo, and it fucking sucked. They had the Wind Waker HD remake, which I tried playing, and it was fun, but my hands it was just a bad system. The little LCD screen kind of sucked. The camera wasn't super good. Yeah, waste of money.
And I have a theory as to why this was such a bad time for us in the West, because I've held the Wii U before.
Yeah.
When you had it. And my theory is that in Japan, they pride themselves on the amount of abuse they can take, whether they give it to themselves or it's given by others.
Right.
And without complaining. And they're like, you know what? Let's make a controller that gives people carpal tunnel, like you said.
Yep.
And also has really crappy games, and see how long they put up with it. Japan, they loved it, man. I bet, because they're like, oh, dude, this hurts so good. You know, oh, so much honor has been restored to my clan, right?
After a long day of typing, what better way than fuck your wrists up even more?
But here in the West, we're like, no, we don't have to put up with this shit, because like the GameCube controller was perfect.
Yes.
Why? We've gotten used to ergonomics,
right?
And when this big clunky piece of shit came out right from over there in the East, like a kaiju coming out of the water, right, just coming to stomp over America.
Wonderful imagery.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just picturing the Wii U itself just like splashing out in the fucking Pacific.
And then they were like, nope, not putting up with it, and that's what happened.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it did well in Japan either, though.
No.
Yeah,
I was wrong. I was speculating.
It's a nice idea
that they love pain.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, and that's actually a great segue to one of the things you wanted us to talk about, which was there was a hashtag, I believe it was hashtag very Asian, that is trending on Twitter today. Oh yeah, by the way, Happy New Year, everybody. This is 2022 now.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Welcome to another year of just mediocre shit.
Yep, same old. Omicron's back. It's like nothing ever changed.
Yeah, man. It's like, hey, just a new year, new variant. Who dis? You know what I mean?
Exactly. We did lose Betty White, though. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, I thought it was going to be an unpopular opinion.
Uh-oh.
I tend to have a lot of them on this
Usually,
show.
whenever a beloved person passes away, you always tend to have some very off-color remark to say about him.
She wasn't very attractive, so it's not a loss. You know what I mean?
Not super beat up about it. You know?
No. Okay. Anytime somebody who's 99 years old dies, color me surprised. I'm not like, oh my stars! How did she die? I don't have to ask how she died. I know how she died.
Right.
Shitting herself and having a heart attack in her sleep, like we all do at 99 years old.
God. I love how your gauge of how much you care about something is how much you can masturbate to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could masturbate to Betty White.
You could,
but you got to try real hard.
You could really masturbate to anything if you believe in yourself hard enough. And I'm sure as an experienced HFO hands-free orgasmer,
yeah,
I think there's a little bit more power to that.
Totally, it's like you're transcending the physical realm,
right?
You know what I mean?
So you could jerk off to old people.
Right. I'm not a big geriatric like masturbation guy, but like Betty White, she, like I said, not very attractive, but for somebody who's 99, she was right.
I'll give her the credit. And I know for a fact you've enjoyed some of the media she's put out. So
I liked Golden Girls.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys.
And what's really funny, I forget where I heard this, but somebody was I think it was like somebody's family member, like, oh yeah, I watch Golden Girls, but like I'm not gay or something like that. And it was kind of nice because, without obviously like, name dropping or anything, I'm like, dude, I know somebody who's like a bodybuilder, probably like, big beefy guy, and he fucking likes him Golden Girls. Like,
what more do you want? You got 4 old ladies getting into shenanigans.
Yeah. What
more do you want from an old sitcom?
Exactly. It's just, you can't dislike a good show when it's a good show. At least you don't have to be into it, but you have to acknowledge it. So to that Betty White, we salute you. And I think a couple friends of mine were saying that she gave her life to save 2022, or her death is the signifier of bad things to come.
Yeah, we'll see if this was an omen or if this was something a little less malevolent.
We'll see, and I guess we'll learn a lot more about Betty White. Maybe there's a little bit more necromantic, spooky stuff going on.
I think the first thing we need to do is check her hard drive and her search history. I bet you she's in some. After 100 years on this earth, you have to advance the things that get you off, and it becomes like it's like a snowball effect.
Right. That'll be, and now it'd be really interesting is if they go in and they see all her stuff's been like magneted and wiped.
Then you know what that means. She'd probably be best friends with Jared from Subway, dude, because that's some sketchy shit.
Who knows? Now, let's not drag her. The lady just passed away. Good fucking
I'm just kidding. Nah, she was a saint. She should be sainted by the Catholic Church. She was an adorable old lady.
I'd be down for that. I think it's something a much needed popular boost to the Catholic Church, considering now what I love about this, we don't have to linger on it too long, but it's like the Catholic Church is like, no, don't worry, we're gonna look into this. There's a small percentage of like, pedophilic like priests and stuff, and we're gonna go in and fix it. And the sheer number of like pedophile priests was just like so unprecedented. Like it was like fucking everywhere. Like they tried to downplay it, but the results were just so, even like the Pope was just kind of like, fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, be careful. Watch your kids. Don't leave them alone with people they don't know.
Yeah, don't, just because they're like a clergyman doesn't mean they can be trusted. They're still human, and they still have human error. They still have like disorders.
Right.
And pedophilia is one of them. So like, be real fucking careful with that shit.
Oh yeah, anything. I mean, you heard the story about some dude's karate instructor was molesting him, and he got arrested for it, and it was looking like he was probably going to get off on like really like whatever charges. And he'd been like molesting this kid for like years. So while he was being transferred for during his trial, dad figured out which airport he was at, and news. It was live. It was on the news. Like it was during the live broadcast where they were filming him like being transported. Suddenly a man turns around in a trench coat, and it's dad, and he pulls a gun, and fucking kills him live on air.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
It's called street justice, man.
It is. And that's why the dad I think they got him with like manslaughter. No, it's because when you murder somebody in passion, there's a word for it. It's like third degree murder is like the least one, right?
Third degree is when it happens, but you didn't plan it. So first degree is when you are like, okay, I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
He technically did plan it.
Yeah.
That took a lot of planning.
Right.
But it was, I think most of the jury members were like, yeah, would have done something
can
similar.
See
yeah.
why he did what he did. I'm sure it was not hard to convince the jury, because I would have been like, I mean, the dude kind of had it coming, dude. Like,
because technically, yes, he killed somebody.
Right.
But also, we're all golf clapping for him behind our backs.
Yeah,
so
we all kind of cheered for him a little bit. So DTA, man.
Don't trust anybody. I don't know why it took me. I'm fucking out. I've been drunk for like 4 days.
I'll be with you. That's why this is the Hangover episode. You could tell because we said we were going to talk about variation and have not yet, but it's been a long drinking period. I know at last episode I said my New Year's resolution is going to cut down. So that's is to cut down on drinking. So that's why I was like, okay, this is my last week to kind of like, just enjoy it. And I did. And it probably took a year off my life, but here I am. So that being said, Hangover episode, doing pretty good so far. This hashtag very Asian is it was a news broadcaster who was talking about different like traditional foods and like the symbol, like what they symbolize. One of the more interesting ones being like, a pig, when they eat, they like move forward, I guess, instead of moving backwards or something. And like that's signifying of like, that's why they eat pork as a way of like, we want to move forward for the future, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Like popular quintessential New Year's foods.
Yes, exactly. And she ended off with that she had a dumpling soup. She's like, oh, and me personally, I had dumpling soup. And apparently there was a weird level of backlash she got. A bunch of white people saying that she was very Asian. How very Asian of her. But there's also a counter backlash of saying, it sounds like a Bo Burnham song, the backlash to the thing that just begun. But fuck. But this one, it's like the counter. It's like, dude, like who fucking cares, dude? And plus, I heard dumpling soup is fucking delicious.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Now, here's what. Okay, I'm gonna give my 2 cents about what's going on here.
Right.
In the past on this show, it's no secret that I like to, if you want to put it nicely, I like to poke fun at my heritage. Right.
Right.
I'm not necessarily Korean. She's Korean, but I'm Asian. I'm part Asian, and these foods kind of like meld together, right? Yeah. So in the past, though, I've liked to give her heritage a hard time because I have to. I hate myself, right? But
very 2022 review.
I hate everybody.
There you go, man.
But this is a little ridiculous to me because what is wrong with a newscaster saying what she enjoyed to eat on New Year's? And who cares if it was dumpling soup? It was probably homemade because, hey, spoiler alert, she's Korean. All right.
Well, also too, in terms of context, the Asian community has been getting hit pretty hard because, with the whole, with Corona coming from China, there's been like, that's why we had the whole hashtag Stop Asian Hate, because people were quite literally going out and finding Asian people and beating them up.
Yes, but then some people like Boris Johnson in good old England overcompensate. Do you remember back when all that first started that he made something called Hug an Asian Day?
What? No, I didn't know about that.
Watch the videos. It's pretty bad.
That sounds like a really not good idea.
Yeah, because all the Asians have COVID.
No, that's not. Shut the fuck up, dude. No,
but he was definitely overcompensating. Doing like what white people do these days, and they get mad for the community who's actually should be mad about it.
Right.
But you're right, and also this is something that I brought up to you at a party. I was on my Spotify the other day looking for new music and the genres, and I saw that there's still a Stop Asian Hate genre in there, and I'm like, first of all, that's not a genre of music.
No, it's not. That's right. That's right.
But wasn't that like months ago?
I don't think that's the point. I think you're missing the reason why it's still there.
Oh,
yeah, you were pretty upset about that too.
Well, I was wasted and I was confused.
It's funny because you are Asian and you're just so against it.
I don't like these corporations standing up for things that they don't believe in.
Now, okay, see, now that's something I can kind of get behind. I think the corporate apologetic, it's fake as fuck. Like they do it because there's been a big push for gay pride and all that stuff. And then there's all the memes where it's just like the day after Gay Pride Month ends, it's they're burning all the rainbow flags and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the gay community has come out, has made enough strides to people to acknowledge them as, a force to be reckoned with. But as corporate sees it is, there's enough people in this community that we can make this is a whole audience this is a target audience we're missing. And we only have to care about them for a month.
A month. What's 1 June out of 12 months in the year? What's a June, right?
Yeah.
Look how much monies we can make from all these flamers.
Yep,
right. That's what they're thinking.
Exactly. And then they cash out and then they go back to firing people and outing people for being gay, transgender. Those, one of the, actually a big problem in companies right now is, somebody say they're transgender and they transition and their legal name is still, the gender they were before. And so the bosses will see that and will just out them as trans, which is kind of not fucking cool. It's kind of not their business, and then it's it doesn't matter if they're passing or not, depending on what they transition to. But that's a real problem.
It is a problem, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about a trans person not telling you that they're trans. All right. They will it's like vegetarians, bro. They'll let you know a couple times a day. All right. I don't know. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, dude.
I think you're wrong, Nick. I think vegetarians are way worse.
Okay, that's fair.
That's not a great statement for me to say. Well, see if this makes it to the cut.
Vegetarians. Let's talk about them for a second, man. Okay. Because my God,
vegetarian. Well, it's just white people being white people, but trying to be it's like white people trying to minoritize themselves. Basically, that's almost how I see it. And that's why people fucking protesting against the mask mandates, calling it a social, a civil liberties issue. And I'm what's a civil liberties issue? Getting hosed down by cops for wanting to vote.
Yeah. For decades and for almost a century.
Totally. And whether it's, civil liberties, they're going to take our rights. Shut the fuck up, dude. How about let's talk about fucking Jeff Bezos, who's just looking like Pitbull and wearing crazy silk and it's just people are always missing the point. But that's the point, is they want us to not get along. They want us to disagree. They want us to hate each other, and they want us to point fingers. And somebody, there was a trend, I guess this guy on Joe Rogan, are we still punching upwards at other podcasts to make ourselves feel better?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Joe Rogan's podcast is bad.
There are very few episodes that I enjoy, and it's not because of Joe Rogan, or as I call, it's not because of Joe the Caveman Rogan. That's what I call him. It's because of certain guests that he has on, but I don't particularly enjoy him.
Yeah,
and if he ever hears this, he's gonna kick the shit out of me. But that's fine.
He's strong enough for it too. Yeah. No, I watch little clips of his things every now and again when he has a cool guest, and I also Ping Trip, the guy who edits his videos to make him look like a murdering psychopath. Yeah. But that's right, we're punching upwards because starting controversy to make ourselves more popular.
Oh boy, oh
boy. This guy though, he was talking about this this mass psychosis thing and comparing it to that of in Germany of how is it that you have an intelligent middle class working people who just seem to collectively agree that we needed to just murder everybody different, and they think something similar is going on in America right now, where there's this weird as he described it, is we live in a really weird freaky time, kind of like, post World War I Germany, where everything's kind of up in the air. We've been in a pandemic for 2 years. We've had like people are losing their jobs left and right. People are getting jobs left and right, but we're all not making any money. And a couple fucking rich fat cats are getting all of it, while we're all like a tornado hit Kentucky and just like decimated them. Tornado people are scared. They're freaked out. We're kind of like wandering aimlessly. COVID comes in. Now we got something to pin people, like, the blame. Now we got something we all focused on one issue. And they say it's almost like a form of like hypnotism, of get you to focus on one thing, to almost obsess over it. And then now all your decisions are marked on this one hyperfixated thing. And they think culturally that's what's happening with America right now, with everyone freaking out and protesting over shit that's not a civil liberties issue at all, or stuff that's, basic, like, oh yeah, how many doses of the vaccine we're going to have? It's like, y'all realize there's some vaccines that take like 4 or 5 doses. Y'all realize there's been shit. We get the flu vaccine once every couple years. Like, it's nothing new, but that's the thing though. It's the psychosis. It's this weird, we can't just all point it all on one thing, but they think that's kind of what's going on.
I just think, do you remember, I think on the last episode we were talking about how your father is like talking about the Federation of Light and how we're meeting the representatives
and getting it wrong, which you pointed out too.
It's again something else I need to point out, dude, is like, even with something that they're trying to get us to fixate on, we still can't even do that.
Yeah,
because there's two sides still. We can't agree. You know what I mean? And it's very frustrating. And not to get like super serious about it, because like at the end of the day, who gives a shit? The people who aren't gonna follow it aren't gonna follow it,
right? And
they're just gonna be uppity. And the people who are super uppity about it are gonna be uppity about it.
Right.
Then there's the people in the middle. They're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm stupid, right? I don't know what all this does, but I like it.
That was almost like It's a Wonderful Life. Like, oh yeah, you want the moon? Oh yeah, I'll
give you the moon there.
Yeah. I think, did I send you the thing where it's like him, but like an impressionist doing it as if he's Neo in the Matrix?
No.
So what is this? Some kind of Matrix we're in? Well, that's just screwy. Not to trigger you about your new least favorite movie.
It's just a fucking travesty. It was just one of the worst. It was and not only was it bad, it was a long movie too. So it was just like it was like being dragged through broken glass, but just my scrotum was touching the ground.
Awesome. That was
for like 2.5 hours.
That reminds me of an age, and that also sucks too, because it's 2.5 hours of your day gone, where it's like I could have literally done like
anything. I could have stuck pencils in my eyeballs, and that would have been more enjoyable.
What was the quote from? I think it was back in those Fortune days, where it's the she's so hot that I would drag my balls through a mile of broken glass just to hear her fart through a walkie-talkie. Oh, fantastic. I believe you were going to make like a really like actual realistic point before I started making jokes.
Yeah. I can never make profound points on here, because then I either purposefully self-sabotage myself because I'm getting too serious, or because we get off track, which is totally fine. But all I was going to say is, it doesn't matter, because if we can't focus on one, if we all do focus on one thing and we block out everything else going on in the world, that's bad. Right. But right now our current state's bad anyway. We can't get along. So either way is not great. Right? Yeah,
I think the best mentality right now is just make it work for you. Like, it's, I think everyone's kind of too fixated on the collective, which is, we should worry about our fellow man, but also too, like, if you're in a position to make a difference, make a difference. But for some of us, you just got to make it to the next day. And for some of us, that's good enough. And you know who you are.
Yeah, most of us are like, who gives a shit about what these two sides are saying? Because I gotta fucking make rent. You know what I mean? I gotta make my mortgage.
Not get booted out of my own fucking living situation.
So fuck them.
And that's the thing, is I bet, to make yourself feel better, if you're in a position where you can't feel like there's not much of a difference you can make, well, just the best you can do is that sort of, pay forward what kindness you do get. And when you do find yourself one day in a position, just remember where you came from and make sure to, give back a little bit. Help your fellow man when you can.
When you can, help them out. Don't be a Jeff Bezos, you know what I mean? Right. Or Bezos or Mr. Clean, whatever you want to call him. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, this sounds like a good time for an Elvis fact.
I would love an Elvis fact, man.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Today we got Elvis Presley popularized quick weddings in the city of Las Vegas. So if any of you guys have never heard of Vegas, or, which I'm sure most of you have, Vegas is pretty famous for you get an Elvis impersonator to marry you, and you can get married like that night if you so decide. So there's a lot of mishaps of, as I say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I think it's more attuned to the, oh, I just married a fucking stripper, and I don't want this to leak out.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that Norm Macdonald joke who used to tell all the time that what stays in Vegas or what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas motto.
Yeah,
he does a great bit on it.
That's great. R.I.P. But the article here states that in the film Viva Las Vegas, Elvis Presley has a quick marriage with his co-star Anne Margaret. Due to the success of the film, Las Vegas began to popularize the idea of white little chapels and shotgun weddings in the city. Later on, Elvis also had a real wedding in the city of Las Vegas with his wife Priscilla, who was his like underage cousin too, right?
Wise men say only fools.
Yeah, if you had that play at your wedding, yeah, way to go, you fucking weirdo.
But I can't help falling in love with my cousin.
That's the original director's cut.
Yeah, like we can't do that, man.
All right, Elvis, just run it back, man. We can't. But it's true.
But I like her. I like her a lot.
Well, you want me to be dishonest? It says today, many of these chapels within the city serve not only as a venue for quick weddings, but also as a tourist attraction. So all this shit is just some pop culture phooey.
Elvis influenced a lot of things. He influenced music greatly.
Right.
Some people would argue with that fact and just say he stole it from black people, which he did.
Which a lot of musicians. I mean, fucking Led Zeppelin, like a lot of their like, I heard Jimmy Page like ripped off like most of his guitar work. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jimmy Page is a fucking excellent guitarist. Just the way that guy, it's one thing to steal the writing, it's another thing to actually perform it. I mean, like we all can fucking steal like Mozart, but if you can't play it, then like, you know, what good are you? So
yeah.
I'm not besmirching the name of Jimmy Page. He is one of the best guitarists on the planet.
But a terrible person.
But most of the famous people are.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of, you know.
Like he kidnapped some 14-year-old girl. Remember that? Oh, dude, look it up later. Look it up right now, actually, and tell them a synopsis about it. But I'll give a little brief. So he kidnapped some like underage girl back in the day, and basically like, what did he do?
Let's see, Jimmy Page. Sir Jimmy Page's 14-year-old lover, Laurie Maddox. Oh my fucking god. Rolling Stone. Oh, Laurie Maddox has a whole Wikipedia page about her. Let's see. Former American child model and baby groupie of the 1970s. Allegations of being involved in sexual relationships with David Bowie, Jimmy Page, and Mick Jagger. Relationships would have occurred when she was underage, when the musicians were in their 20s. Her experiences have actually been discussed in the Me Too movement, with her story marking a shift of the movement's focus from the film industry to the music industry. You could say she was that's a victim. Like
that's a victim.
That's a fucking victim if I ever heard it. Here's David Bowie. Okay, here we go. Her experiences with Bowie have also been called into question due to many timeline issues. She may have already been in a relationship with Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page by the time claimed to have met Bowie. Describes Page being in a relationship with Maddox. Maddox claimed to lost her virginity to Bowie. Maddox also previously claimed that she lost her virginity to Page. Numerous photos of Page and Maddox together, and the heavily corroborated and well-documented evidence of their relationship. The 13-year-old Maddox began dating Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page. Page went to great lengths to keep the relationship secret because he didn't want to be arrested for statutory rape, which is what he was doing. Here we are. At the insistence of Led Zeppelin manager Peter Grant, Maddox was kept in a locked hotel room with a security guard at the door during the band's subsequent U.S. touring. Maddox did not travel with Led Zeppelin while they were on tour, but she claimed Page stationed himself in Los Angeles, would frequently fly back there to see her in between concerts. That's not good.
That sounds not fun.
That's and they were all fucking complicit too. The manager was like, "Hey, we need to like lock her away, and yeah, you can visit her, but you just can't leave."
Yeah, but a great guitarist, right?
Fantastic guitarist, and there's always, and I always kind of cringe when saying it, but there's always the argument of separating the art from the artist, because good art is good art and good material is good material. Now we can acknowledge the impact these people have had while at the same time acknowledging they were a complete piece of shit who did horrible things and deserve to almost have their art recognized for being good art, but with the acknowledgement of, I almost feel like it's good to acknowledge the art, because then we can also acknowledge that they were a shitty person at the same time, versus just pretending none of it exists, which I think is just kind of counterintuitive. And this way, I mean, like, is it worse to do something shitty and be forgotten, or is it worse to do something shitty and never be forgotten for being shitty because of the impact you had?
That's a good question, man. But I can tell you, I have an easy time separating the art from the artist because, let me put it this way: R. Kelly, terrible person, convicted of
Horrible.
everything that he was, that people said he did.
Yep, he did it.
But my God, does he make some baby making music? All right, and it's good music. Michael Jackson. Now he wasn't convicted.
Right, but
but he did it. Like, we can all get on board and say he touched those kids. Okay,
shenanigans going on. I would be surprised. I mean, it's between him and God and those boys, but like, probably. I mean,
bet a lot of money.
Yeah,
on the fact that he did. You know what I mean? Like, because everything points towards it.
He was so fucked up on so much different shit, and that's what killed him too.
Yeah,
he was all kinds of jacked up. Which we have a friend who's a really big Michael Jackson fan. I think she just started hanging out with. I had just started hanging out with her around the time when Michael Jackson first died. Now, true to form, I always have somebody in my life who's always loves making too soon jokes. Nick.
Yes.
And my older brother is similar in that regard. So when Michael Jackson first died, it became a rapid fire, like lightning round of how many Michael Jackson jokes can you come up with, which is I guess his heart couldn't beat it. He looks like he got swept up by a smooth criminal. There was something. There was a couple other good ones, but like our friend who's like kind of like at the time, like she was a lot like more shy and quiet. I kind of felt bad because she just like took it like because she's a huge fan of Michael Jackson. And we were just like dancing on his grave and shit. Like that was bad, but it was kind of funny.
But he's the king of pop. And he's got bangers one after another.
Yeah, and when you affect pop culture that level, you can't just like, you can't like roll back culture, erase culture just because of this horrible thing that happened. And I think, like I said, I think we should remember the art for its cultural impact and agree that it was great and he was a talented man and the work he put into it should be acknowledged for its impact. But also, too, I think what makes that okay is also remembering all the bad he allegedly did. And not just that, but like he was just kind of like a weird dude, and like he was kind of like, he was the fucking king of pop. He was crazy famous. Like most people kind of go a little crazy. I mean, shit. One of the more better case scenarios was fucking Miley Cyrus. Like she was off her rocker for a bit and just pulled it together. The Biebs, Justin Bieber was like a fucking like he got arrested for like racing cars in like Miami or something like that, and like bought a monkey.
Yeah, dude, they're crazy.
Yep.
There's a picture online of Miley Cyrus pissing with the full frontal and everything, and it's pretty awesome. Hey, we can cut that.
No, we've already established your dabbling.
I don't need specific. I don't need to give them specific examples though.
That being said, what were we talking about before we got on to like pedos and the Hollywood elite and
we're talking about Elvis.
Elvis, yeah,
and cultural impact of him and just the different things.
Artists.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Which I think we make, and one of these days, like we said, and maybe this is just going to end up just being a running joke of our one day we're going to do an Elvis episode. But I feel like you just stitch together all of our Elvis bits from all the Kickback episodes. That's our Elvis episode.
It would be an easy episode.
It would be,
except for all the stitching, of course.
Yeah, that would actually take a long time. I have to come through.
So at that point, we may as well just do like a separately researched Elvis episode.
Yeah, I think so too. Did I tell you about how I had a nightmare actually? And I don't normally have nightmares really about anything, but I had a nightmare about the podcast, which has never happened before.
You briefly mentioned it at the party, but I was wasted.
That's totally fair, because so was I. But I had a nightmare that basically, and obviously, dream logic, it had come to my attention that one of us had said the N-word and we didn't know what episode or what part it was. And I had to comb through like all 100 plus episodes to try to find it.
Yikes.
That was bad. I woke up, I was just like, and I started to like think like, did we miss something? Did one of us just like jokingly off air, like say it and then now it's in there? Or like, obviously no, like obviously that didn't happen.
Because we don't even say it. So
no,
like,
yeah.
So, but I think now, look, I'm not going to get all Freud on your ass because we all know that the dream interpretation has its issues.
Right.
But I think what's really going on here is I've been putting a lot of pressure on you, man.
Oh, yeah?
With the editing.
It's not that bad.
I've been better.
Yeah. Oh, with the amount of things you do say.
Yeah, not
I
what I'm
see.
making you do.
I see.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's actually not a problem at all.
I'm not like a whipping.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm not like getting him to like
edit machine. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Like I feel like I've put a lot on you to look for.
I see.
Because you're the one that edits the episodes, and I say a lot of things that could be either too much TMI or could be
interpretive,
kind of racist, or you know, whatever.
little misguiding, a little
meant as jokes, but they didn't land, so they just kind of sound like dickish, you know.
They sound more like proclamations.
Yeah, they sound more like a tirade than a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, it's sometimes it's really funny because sometimes I'll usually do it like the night of, and I'm just like, I make a day of it. Like that's how I do my editing process. Is obviously I kind of have to cut back on it a little bit, but usually what I would do is pour myself like a nice whiskey Coke, get myself comfy, get like some get PJs, get my blanket on, and throw on the podcast and just let it run. I start playing The Binding of Isaac because that game never ends, and I can pause it whenever I want with no impact. So if I need to make an edit, I'll just pause the game, go in, make my fix. And just sometimes I forget some of the shit that you say. And when I hear it, it's good for a chuckle, and then I got to get rid of it. And I guess this is like a kickback episode, so we could do a little bit more like behind the scenes. But there was one clip in particular that I very much regret cutting out, but I had to because like at the time we were kind of like really hard on K-Fob and like staying in character and all that stuff. And but there was this point. It was the episode we did years ago with was Jesus Christ an Alien?
Oh yeah.
And and you did a really good job of committing because and some of those to a point where I question if you are just doing a bit or if it's something you truly believe. But there was one part in particular that I had to cut out because it broke K-Fob. But it was when you were describing how Jesus caught like ending like the storm and walking on water was to quote you, obviously the work of a weather machine. And as you said it, you just completely lost composure, and just the laughing fit was just one of the funniest fucking things I'd ever heard. But I was like, I have to cut it because back then that mattered to us of like staying in the zone. We're a little bit more like real about it now, but
yeah, it was difficult to say. We had it, and then after the laughing fit, we had to do it like 4 more times to get through it.
A couple tries.
Yeah,
that and the time where I think you mispronounced something. You stuttered a bit, and you said like, "Sorry, we got to redo that." I kind of sound like a retard, and I could not like keep it together. I think I had to cut like 4 minutes worth of like just giggle fits because it's just as fun as it is to laugh. It's like you guys just don't want to hear me like choking and chuckling for like 4 minutes. That's for our YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's where you can see him dying of laughter.
Oh, perfect. That's a little behind the scenes for you guys. That's a little New Year's treat. Some
stuff that gets cut it's not, and I don't want you guys to think that when we talk about getting a bunch of stuff cut, it's not because I am dropping the N-word all the time. Like we've never once said that. What it is what Tasker usually what it is what he just described, where it's like too much laughing. We're doing too many takes on something because it's just ridiculous. And
or when you say something like you said that it's meant to be a joke, but it comes off as just like straight up attacking like a whole group of people or something, where it's like to us it might be funny to joke in our like spare time because we know we're kidding,
right?
But then it's like, oh, well, we have an audience. Like this isn't us broing down over a couple beers. This is there's quite a lot of you that listen to this. So and there's a stage manner,
And that's why last episode we told you guys that we got 22 minutes in and had to redo the whole goddamn thing.
That was bad
because we were talking about something that we were kind of making jokes about, but it also was kind of a serious subject. And then it didn't seem funny. It just kind of seemed like a conversation you'd just have with somebody, but it was highly politicized. So we were like, fuck it, let's cut it.
Yeah, and that's another thing we do is when it gets too serious, because we pride ourselves on having the show just being kind of like a fun romp, and we do get like we'll have our serious conversations every now and again, but if it gets to a point where we're just kind of like we've like been like straight faced for like 20 minutes straight, like this is kind of like almost to the point where it's not that if it's a good amount of intensity and if it's interesting, we'll leave it in, but if it's just kind of like I wouldn't listen to this.
Yeah, this is not an educational podcast. This is not like you're not coming here for like liberal arts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're here to laugh about funny stuff. You're here to learn about creepy or extraterrestrial stuff.
Right.
So that's why when that kind of stuff pops up, we have to cut it because it's like, no, what are we, Ben Stein? What am I fucking, what? Like,
yeah,
I'm
we're not a news broadcast. We're not here to fucking pretend we're smarter than we are. We're here to fuck around and have a good time. And hopefully that's what makes the show enjoyable to listen to. And if you guys think that we're just like, full of shit and I'll just keep it, you pussies, like, well, come at me, bro.
Yeah. And you know what, guys, in the future, and this is something way down the line, but eventually we're going to get to a point where we're probably going to want to do this pretty hardcore. Right now, of course, as you know, life is fucked for us, like work and school and all that. But of course, with that kind of dream comes Patreon as an option.
Yeah.
And one of those levels that we've talked about before is unedited episodes. So if you guys ever want the pure, unadulterated, behind the scenes bullshit,
all the like moments where like we like stop and we're like, okay, hold on, like let's think about if we want to keep this in.
Yeah,
the times we're just laughing, all this like empty space in between things because like
or if I say something and I immediately say, okay, cut that.
Yeah, that
was bad.
Occasionally I'll keep those in when it works, but it's more often than not that's usually a good cutting point. But yeah, one of these days with the Patreon, it's just like I said, it's a lot more like blank space. There's a lot more like pauses and a lot more like
piss breaks. And,
the piss breaks. So you'll have to wait.
Yeah, just
like 2 minutes. If you're into that, like, okay, but like, yeah, so that's something in the future. And obviously our pink tier where Nick and I will go over and double team you.
Yeah,
in a very disappointing performance.
Yeah, we'll do anything you want, but it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, it's just we're down for whatever. You literally just tell us what you're going to do. Just expect it to be the worst version of it you're ever going to have.
Yeah, dude. What do we limp?
Limp.
What was our rap duo name?
Oh, we had
It was like Flaccid
Criers, Flaccid, Limp Crier. It was
something depressing.
Yeah, we'll have to listen back, and if you guys remember it, you could just tell us on the Discord. We'll go full send. You already have your rapping name, Erratic Samurai.
Erratic Samurai, baby.
Yep, still in it.
Look, I know it was kind of a serious episode, not serious, but a little more behind the scenes, a little more lax because we're fighting off hangovers, and I'm still rebuilding neurons in my brain.
Same.
So, but we need to end with a joke.
Yes.
Okay. So, what do you call? Wait, no. Why did this?
Killing it already, man.
why did the Scarecrow receive an award?
Why?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
That's like the kind of joke you fucking Alexa would tell you.
Where do you think I got it?
You son of a bitch.
I don't have an Alexa, but close enough.
Siri, what do you call a dog that does magic?
What?
A labracadabrador.
See, I guess you're right.
Yeah, this is fucking AI tier comedy.
How many dubstep fans does it take to wash a car?
How many?
101. 2 to wash it, 1 to dry it, and 98 to talk about how dirty it was.
Okay, that's
pretty good.
That's pretty solid. I'll give him that.
I like slutty drops.
Yeah.
What did the banana say to the vibrator?
What?
Why are you shaking? She's going to eat me.
That's I like it. A lot of character there.
That's an OnlyFans one. Okay. A married couple is lying in bed. The wife leans over and says, I want you to say dirty things before we start. So the man starts to caress her neck and whispers to her living room, bathroom, kitchen.
Oh, no. No. That's pretty good. Okay, that
sexist.
It was very sexist, but oh my god. Hold on. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I thought I saw a furry joke, but it was just a really dumb one.
Oh man, I love furry jokes.
Okay, we got to try to get one in there. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I like this segment, just finding like jokes across the internet.
Right? Why not? Right?
Yeah, a good way to start the year too. So a fox and a giraffe walk into a bar. The fox gets drunk and the giraffe passes out. The fox gets up to leave and makes it to the door before the bartender shouts at him, "Hey, you can't leave that lion here." The fox, slightly bemused, turns around and says, "That's not a lion, it's a giraffe." Wait, what?
Let me guess. A furry wrote it, right?
I'm assuming so.
Okay, because I feel like that would only make sense to the. Wait, reread it.
I get it. You can't leave your friend lion there. And he says that like lying, as in like lying down drunk. And he says that's not a lion, it's a giraffe. That's a dumb.
I think that was written by. I think this thread might be run by furries.
Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting a joke about furries.
About furries, like
Yeah.
something. I want something mean spirited towards them.
Yeah, something that really is just antagonistic as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Here's I found furry memes.
Yes.
So you hate furries? Tell me again how your swag has raised money for charity. Wow, that sounds like a joke written by a furry.
Yeah, that sounds pretty salty, man. They
Yeah,
get real mad.
And they have a shit ton of money too. So I mean, who's really getting the last laugh?
Oh, I got a quick joke to interject here.
All right.
What happened when the orange slept with the dirty lemon?
What?
He got lemonades.
That'll do it.
That's a good one. It's a fruit AIDS joke, dude. That's pretty good.
Oh my god, 1-2 punch. Okay, one more, and then we got to wrap it up here because we got to do a short one today.
Okay. What? Okay. Yeah, this one's good. What does a dirty hippie say after you ask him to get off your couch?
What?
Namaste.
Oh man. Well, hope. What a way to start the year off, huh?
What? Okay, one more. What's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a voluptuous lobster?
What?
One's a crusty bus station, the other's a busty crustacean. Dude, that's
okay. That's not bad. That's good for a chuckle. That's good for a chuckle.
that killed me.
Ooh, all right. Well, that's a good segment. I like that. We should start doing that more.
You know what? I would love that for kickbacks. Can we start doing like street joke?
Joke segments. Yeah, and I think that's what's really making these kickback episodes work. Is like it's really writing the format for us as we go.
Yeah,
I could dig it. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Like I said, kind of a short one today. We all got as you know, Nick's been traveling. That's why he's with me right now, and then he's got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of people to see, a lot of things to do. I need to play more of my PS4 to really get my money's worth.
PlayStation 5.
Oh, fuck. See, the habit is still there. I did trade in my PS4, and I got an Oculus Quest 2. So now Zuck knows everything about me.
My man's is all about virtual reality now. I've been telling him for a couple years now it's the tits.
Yeah, it is.
Is it the tits?
It is. I'm getting used to it still. It's still kind of like you take it off, you kind of have to it's like when those optical illusion things where you have to stare at it for 5 minutes and then you look away and it's like ooh and everything's all womply.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. Or it's it's not super like I'm tripping balls, but it's it takes a minute to kind of get it back. But I hear that goes away with time. I just got Robo Recall and that Blades and Sorcery game, so I'm really looking forward to that. Looking to play maybe some Skyrim VR because I think that'd be
that's game changing.
I hear, and it looks, and dude, you know me, I love my fucking destruction magic, and to do it with my own hand sounds like what I've always wanted. So long story short, we're kind of busy. We're heading out, and hope you enjoy the new year. Bigfoot Part 2 is going to be coming next week. Now we'll actually have the time and the resources to pull it off. We barely cobbled together to even record today because we did not have the proper equipment. So if it's a little lower quality than usual, that's probably why. Probably should have said that in the beginning, but whatever. I'm sure at this point you're well aware. Like anything though, Count Chocula episode's still in the works. We are kind of stepping away a little bit. Sometimes the best way to be productive is to stop productivity for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you come back stronger than ever. If you're listening on iTunes, if you give 5-star rate and review, that'd be super helpful and really boost us. Maybe one day we'll get the front page, but also I could see them looking at us and be like, yeah.
Nah, after all the things that we've said, man, I think I might have dug our grave for us. So
that might be a bit of a pipe dream there. But
I cleaned my act up too late. You know what I mean? It's been 2 years now, and it's
80 episodes of questionable racism. So that could put a wrench in things. If you're listening on Spotify, if you click the follow button, we have new episodes every single Wednesday, and that's I think most of our listeners' platform of choice. Instagram is at CEOTPK. Our YouTube is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Twitter handle is at CEOTPK1. Our TikTok is at CEOTPK. Our Facebook is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. For all these links, just go to our Facebook. It's all there. Don't type about. We'll make it easy for you. You just got to click there, and then you're there. You can email us at ceotpk1@gmail.com. Our Discord is discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6 capital C, number 5 capital M capital X. If you feel the need to donate, we have a coffee, ko-fi.com. Like we said, one day /CEOTPK at the end of it. Like we said, Patreon someday in the future when we can actually, give you rewards. But I think probably once we're working again, that's probably when we'll probably look more to doing that because we're kind of both doing 4 things at once. And keeping the podcast going is one of those 4 things. So just the coffee, just a donation box if you guys feel the need to. If you donate and you want us to do a shout out, have a message or something like that, we'll gladly do it. Obviously within reason. So, if you're putting your manifesto out and really letting the world know how much you hate a certain group of people, like it's probably, it would have to be pretty fucking funny for us to read it.
I was going to say, not all manifestos are off the table.
Right.
It just has to be very clever, and I don't want specific targets. Like if you have like a 15-page manifesto about like, look, God forbid, like a place that you're going to attack, you sons of bitches.
Right.
I'll read the first page where there's no specific location. All right, because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But if the first page is funny, give it to me.
Yeah, and see if it's like a nice message, we'll read it on like a regular episode. If it's like your manifesto, but it's just funny enough, it's probably going to get right on a Kickback episode. So just be ready for that.
Yeah.
But, that's pretty much how it works here. And thank you all for listening. I hope the New Year's was fun. Hope you survived the party. Hope your hangover isn't too bad. And good fucking luck getting back to work, everyone.
Yeah, man, we're all going to need it. Take care. Thank you guys for listening.
Peace out.